Here's my process or my approach to learning Popper number 34. The purpose of this video is to help you get clarity, confidence, practice efficiency, and mastery. The first thing I did is made several copies of the music because I know I like to mark up the music. I like to see the different things that I'm going to work on and to be able to separate them out. I did look it over, but more importantly, I played through it. And I certainly didn't play it perfectly, but I just wanted to get from one end to the other just to have a sense of all of the challenges that I was up against. After analyzing the music, I came up with 3 different things I was going to focus on. The first challenge was all of the notes that were above 4th position. I highlighted every single one and then I color-coded them so that all the green ones were the same double stop, all the purple ones were the same, and so forth, so that I could see how many times one particular interval or double stop repeated. It also meant that I could see just how many there were to learn. There were only 17 and 8 of them were the same double stop, C on the bottom and A on the top. I colored them green. There were 4 I colored purple, E flat on the bottom and C on the top. 2 I colored yellow, B flat on the bottom and G on top. And 2 I colored red, D on the bottom and B flat on the top. There was only 1 chord colored blue, and that was D flat on the bottom and B flat on the top, and that made for a total of 5 different chords. The next thing I wanted to do was look at how many of the chords required the thumb as part of the fingering. And I could see that there were 10 in total. I highlighted those in different colors, again, so that each chord that repeated would be repeated in the same color. So it turned out there were only actually 3 different chords that required the thumb. And finally, I wanted to make myself aware of how much of the music was written in tenor clef. And I saw that there were 2 passages, each only a bar and a half long, and they were actually identical. And as you can see by my color coding, that was only 5 different chords. I practiced these 3 different versions of the chord progressions on their own without worrying about the rest of the music, and then I began to connect some of them with the chord that came directly before them and directly afterwards. After completing these 3 steps that included these 3 challenges, there was more I could do, and so I went back and made sure to tidy up the chords, for example, that were under 4th position, or anything else that I had left out that needed my attention, like at the beginning of this video, I mentioned clarity, and I hope watching it has given you an idea of how to narrow down what you need to work on. After all, it's so much easier to practice and to be excited about practice when you have a plan.